Namo Buddhaya, meritorious children and young adults. We are happy to meet you again through this Mirror of Dhamma program to share the Buddha's realization, to correct our lives. The Buddha's realization is unlimited. It's not a limited realization. He had a perfected life. His mind was well organized. His mind was pure. He was able to see his past lives, and he was able to see the future births, the upcoming births of other beings. He was able to see and know about his future as well. And then he had a purified mind. So learning Dhamma, it's a great blessing for us to learn Dhamma from a great person who was able to see his past lives. And the advantage is, the problem is, we can't see and we don't have any way to know about our past lives. So that's why we do not know the reason for our happiness and sadness. So some people are short-lived, some people are ugly, and some people are beautiful, then some get bankrupt, and some people are poor, then some people are less influential. So when people go through these kinds of problems, they don't understand that they are depending on karma. They don't understand that, they don't realize that it's because of an action that they have done in a past life. It's because of unwise thinking as well. But fortunately, when a Buddha preaches Dhamma, he preaches with a wide understanding about life, not with a narrow mind. With full awareness, he teaches Dhamma by knowing everything in this world. So, when we learn, when we get the chance to hear and to learn about our past lives, we can avoid doing those bad deeds we have done in our past lives in this life. Buddha had preached in many ways in Jataka stories and in Dhammapada stories how people do evil deeds and how they suffer in future births. So if you can look at your life and if you can compare your life to the Supreme Buddha's teachings, through the Supreme Buddha's teachings, if you can look at your life, you can imagine how you have lived in your past lives. By looking at the way you live in this life, you can think of your next life. So that's the advantage of learning Dhamma from a Supreme Buddha. He teaches the reason for our actions and also the results of the actions that we do in this life. Now, children, first of all, let's go for refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and observe 5 precepts, and then we'll spread loving kindness and learn a wonderful sermon about telling lies. That is about King Chaitya, who told the first lie in the world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To observe the 5 precepts, say after me. I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. I follow these precepts for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, and to realize the Four Noble Truths. In this Gautama Buddha's dispensation, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now let's chant a beautiful chanting and spreading loving kindness. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Say together with me. Attupamaya sabbe sang sattanang sukhakamataṃ passitva kamato mettaṃ sabba sattesu bhavaye. I desire happiness. Others also desire happiness. Having compared to oneself with others, one should practice loving kindness towards all beings by realizing that everyone desires happiness. Sukhi bhaveyyang niddukho aham niccang aham viya hitacha me sukhi hontu majjatha tacha verino. May I be free from sorrow and always be happy. May those who desire my welfare, those who are indifferent towards me, and those who hate me, also be happy. Imam hi gamakhettam hi satta hontu sukhi sada. Tato parancha rajyesu chakkavalesu jantunu. May all beings living in this area be well and happy, and those in other countries in this universe also be well and happy. Samanta Chakkavalesu Satanantesu Panino Sukhino Puggala Bhota Atta Bhavagata Siyung. May all beings living in the whole universe be well and happy. May each individual who has been born be well and happy. May various types of beings in the whole universe always be well and happy. Tata iti pumaceva Arya Anarya picha Deva Nara Payata Tata Dasa Disa Suchati. Likewise women, men, the noble and the ignoble, gods, humans, those in plains of misery, and those living within the 10 directions. May all these beings be happy. May all these beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Now, let's go for a Dhamma sermon. Namo Buddhaya. Now, we have come to the session of learning a beautiful Dhamma sermon. Today we are learning the Chaitya Jataka. Chaitya Jataka. This is the Jataka story Buddha preaches about the first person who told the first lie. The first lie in the world. He made the younger one as the elder one and the elder one as the younger one. He told the public that the younger one is the eldest one, the elder one is the younger one. He changed the siblings. He made the younger one elder and the elder one younger. So before we go for the sermon, let's pay homage to the Buddha 3 times and pay homage to our teacher as well. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May my homage be to my teacher, Lokaswamin Wahansa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Meritorious children, After Devadatta was swallowed up by the earth and reborn in hell, the monks were discussing about this matter. The monks were discussing about this matter, how Devadatta lived when he was alive. When Devadatta was alive, he wanted to have control over the Sangha. He said, there is a short path, and then the short path was realized by me. Buddha's path takes a long time. If you follow my advices, my instructions, you will achieve Nibbana immediately as soon as possible. Quickly you will be able to attain Nibbana. And then he deceived the monks and lay people both. Devadatta. Who was this? Devadatta. And then he said, I don't eat meat. Then when you don't eat meat, you can achieve Nibbana immediately, quickly. And he said, I'm dwelling in the forest. I'm only accepting robes made by old rags. So he lived a life giving pain to his body. But then secretly, in public he pretends as if he is living a virtuous life. But secretly, what he does evil deeds. He cheats others. He deceives others. And then what happened after he did so much bad deeds, after shedding the Buddha's blood with unpleasant mind, and after separating the Sangha, when he was alive, he was swallowed up by the earth. Flames came out. Flames came from the earth, and the earth split and he was dragged to the hell. Only at the moment, only on the instance of being dragged to the hell, he said, Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami wholeheartedly for the second time. First time he said Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. On the occasion, he became a monk. And he developed jhanas also. But later, he was intoxicated with his abilities. And later, when he was dragged to the hell, only on that occasion, he properly went for refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. That will help him in a future birth to realize the Four Noble Truths. Imagine when we every day say Buddha Saranang Gacchami wholeheartedly, how much that could help us to attain Nibbana. So saying Buddhang Saranang Gacchami every day, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami is not a simple thing. By knowing the Buddha's qualities, you should say, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, I go for refuge to Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha know about the past lives. He know about the future births. He had purified his mind, and he taught the way to purify our minds. Having a teacher to guide us in the right path is a great blessing for that. So I wholeheartedly go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha. I wholeheartedly go for refuge to the Supreme Dhamma that dispels all the suffering. I wholeheartedly go for refuge to the community of monks, the ordained disciples of the Supreme Buddha who protected the Buddha's asana after the Buddha's passing away, who lived a life to eradicate lust, anger, and delusion, who is living a life to eradicate lust, anger, and delusion, who are Supatipanna. If you have this understanding and go for refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha every day, loudly if you can say the three refuges, you are gaining enormous merit. In the beginning of the Buddha Sasana, the monks were ordained just by reciting these three things. Buddha Saranang Gacchami, Dhamma Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Only by going for refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, they got the monk life. But today, after 20 years, what happens after 20 years of the Buddha Sasana, after the 20 years of the community of Mahasangha, from the day the monks were originated, from the day the monks were created in the world. The first day was on the day Buddha preached the Dhamma Sutta. That day was the first day. The first monk was, the 5 monks were introduced to the world. So then if we can wholeheartedly recollect the value of the triple gems and say it loudly every day, we will accumulate enormous merit to our lives. So only after 20 years of creating the Sangha, the Supreme Buddha imposed precepts. Then slowly imposing precepts, it has now gone up to more than 100,000 precepts with a minimum requirement of 227 precepts. Those are the usual precepts, but then in additional to 227 precepts, there are more than 100,000 precepts for monks. Especially during the Vassana season. If we go out from the monastery, there are conditions. So either someone should invite us, or someone really close to the monastery, or a monk or a relative, or our maybe mother and father should fall sick. There should be a special reason. So within 7 days, we should come back to if we leave the monastery, within 7 days, we should come back to the monastery. If not, we will break a precept. Then there are incidents where we can't leave the monastery without an invitation. There are incidents where we can leave without an invitation. Those are all precepts. So if you can say, I go for refuge to the Supreme Sangha, from that moment, remember, a river of merit will flow to your life. So every day, 3 rivers will flow to your life. 3 rivers of merit will flow to your life. If you can wholeheartedly go for refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. It's not a simple thing. So then after Devadatta died, the monks were telling, see what happened to this Devadatta, being a Buddha's relative, yet he was born in the hell. Then Supreme Buddha said, dear bhikkhus, this was not the first time Devadatta told lies. Even in his past lives, he told lies. He deliberately cheated others. He deliberately told lies. Then he cheated others. Then what happened? Supreme Buddha said, in the past, dear bhikkhus, there was a king named Sampath, whose life was an asankhya long. He had long life. His son was Roja, his son was Vararoja, and then Varakalyana, then Uposita, then Mandata, then Varamandata, then Vara, Upavara, and then the last person was known as Apavara. And then he has a son called Apachara. So we are going to learn about the king who was known as Apachara. But then later he was known as King Chaitya. Why? Because he was from the kingdom of Cheti in the city of Satyavati. So Apachara was later known as King Chaitya. So Apachara was known as, what was his name? King Chaitya. So King Chaitya had a friend. His friend's name was Kora Kalamba. What was his friend's name? Kora Kalamba. What was his friend's name? Kora Kalamba. So this Apachara, after he became a king, he wanted to keep Kora Kalamba as the advisor. So before Apachara became a king, the advisor's name was Kapila. What was the advisor's name? Kapila. So his father's advisor was Kapila. So what is the father's name? Apavara. What's the son's name? Apachara. Now Apachara wants to make his friend as the advisor. So who he wanted to make as the advisor? Kora Kalamba. Who is the existing advisor? Kapila. Okay. So Kapila is whose advisor? Apavara's advisor. Who's Apavara's son? Apachara. What's the other name of Apachara? King Chaitya. So what happened? Then Kapila, advisor Kapila, he thought now an old person like me, an old person like me, is not suitable for a young prince to be as a advisor. So this Kapila decided to become an ascetic and give his position to his son. So he made the son as the advisor and he left the position. What happened? Since Apachara, King Cheti has promised to make his friend Kora Kalamba. So Kora Kalamba is the younger brother of Kapila. Kora Kalamba is the younger brother of Kapila. So whom did Kapila made as the advisor? Kapila's son. But the King Chetia's hope is to make Kora Kalamba, Kapila's brother, as the advisor. Now don't get confused. Don't get confused. So let me know if you'll have clearly learned about this story. Who were these people, the characters? And then we can discuss this in the Zoom meeting as well. So what happened? After Kapila made his son? After Kapila made his son as the advisor, he left. He became a ascetic and started practicing meditation, and he developed psychic powers. Very powers to travel in air, to see his past lives, and other great qualities. So one day the king said to him in friendly conversation, Kora Kalamba, are you not the advisor? The Chaitya king asked from Kora Kalamba, aren't you the advisor of mine? Then he said, no, O king, my brother has taken care of that. Didn't your brother become an ascetic? The king asked. He has, but he gave the post to his son. Then the king said, since Kapila Brahmin is not around, why not you become the advisor? Then Kora Kalamba said, dear king, it is impossible for me to set aside what was done by my brother and take a post which has come down through a lineage. So these positions are given and according to lineage. It goes from father to the son. Then, if that the case, the king said, I will make you the elder brother and Kapila your younger brother. So in that case, the king says, I'll make you the elder brother and Kapila your younger brother. Now, who is the elder brother? Originally, Kapila is the elder brother. Who is the younger brother? Kora Kalamba. Now, to give the position, king wants to make the younger one as the elder one and the elder one as the younger brother. How, O king? Why? By telling a lie. The king said, by telling a lie, I can do it. At that time, people did not know about lying. O king, do you not know that my brother is ascetic? He has psychic powers, endowed with great supernatural powers. He will deceive you with magical illusions. If you do this, what happens? He will disappear your belongings. Children, this king had 4 special abilities. He could walk aloft and pass through the air. He had 4 young gods in each other, the 4 quarters, to defend him with drawn swords. And then he diffused the fragrance of sandalwood from his body. And then he diffused the fragrance of lotus from his mouth. So what happened? Then this Kora Kalamba said that, look, my brother, this ascetic, will disappear these things that you have. He will disappear these things and he will make you get swallowed up by the earth, and you will not be able to abide by your story. Then the king said, no, do not trouble, I will manage it. When will you do it, O king? Then the king said, on the 7th day from today. Then what happened? The story went around the city, telling that by telling a lie, the king is going to make the senior the junior and will give the post to the junior. What kind of a thing is a lie? Is it blue or yellow or some other color? The multitude, lot of people thought greatly about it. It was a time, they say, when the world told the truth. Men did not know what the word lie might mean. The advisor's son heard the tale and told his father, Father, they say that by telling a lie, the king is going to make you a junior. The king is going to make you junior and give your post to my uncle. So the son went to the father, to the ascetic, and said, look, this is what's going to happen after 7 days from today. The king is going to make the junior elder one and the elder one as the junior. Then the ascetic said, no, he can't do that. He will be sink. He will sink in this earth. He'll be born in hell. Let me know. Then the son said, after 7 days this will happen. Then after 7 days this king was ready in full dress. He appeared and stood in the air and in the courtyard amid the multitude. The ascetic came through the air. Who is the ascetic? Now Kapila ascetic. He came through air, spread his sitting cloth before the king and asked, is it true, king, that you wish by a lie to make junior senior, to make the junior senior and to give him the post? Yes, master, I have said so. Who's telling this? King Chaitya. Then he advised the king, O great king, a lie is grievous destruction of good qualities. It causes rebirth in 4 evil states. A king who tells a lie destroys Dhamma, and by destroying Dhamma, he is himself destroyed. And he said, if someone does not destroy the Dhamma of telling truth, nothing of his in this world will be lost. If you don't tell lies, you won't lose your valuable things. First of all, you will lose your good qualities. Don't destroy Dhamma. May you not be destroyed by destroying Dhamma. The good quality of respecting elders is destroyed by telling lies. When you tell lies, you will not respect your parents. Remember, just worshipping your parents is not just respecting. If you can tell lies, if you have the ability, if you are so brave to tell lies, remember, you do not have respect towards your parents. If you cheat your parents, if you lie to your teachers, if you lie to your friends, remember, you don't have loving kindness towards your friends. If you lie each other, no loving kindness, no respect each other. Just worshipping is not enough. If you can abstain from telling lies, that is the real respect you do for everyone in this world. Telling lies is disrespecting others, is not respecting elders. So remember, if you abstain from telling lies, you are respecting your elders and your friends. But then this Chaitya king, he, when seeing the truth, he did not give up. Then this ascetic said, if one tell lies, gods will leave him and go. From the mouth of one who tell lies, a bad smell radiates. You cannot stay in the sky by telling lies. Now, right now, this Chaitya king can stand in sky, can stand in air. He has 4 gods to protect him. This ascetic says, you will lose these happiness. You will lose these valuable things. So don't tell lies. Even said so, what he does, he wants to tell a lie deliberately, just to make his friend as the advisor. Now see what happens when we have cheap desires. Then what happened? This king did not listen to the advisor. He addressed the public and said, look, this Kora Kalamba is the eldest, this Kapila is the youngest. The Kora Kalamba is senior, Kapila is junior. So after telling this lie, after making the elder one as the younger one as the elder one, what happened? His 4 valuable things, the 4 things that made him happy, the ability of traveling in air, the ability of having 4 kings, 4 devas to protect him, then the fragrance that came from his mouth, the fragrance that came out from his body was totally abandoned, was totally disappeared. Then he was descended to the ground by telling a lie, just making the younger one as the elder one as the younger one. Then what happened? After descending to the ground, he lost these things. Then he received opposite things of the good things he had. What he get? His mouth was smelly like a broken rotten egg, and his body produced a bad smell. Some people's bodies are very smelly. The sweat is giving a very bad smell. So he lost the 4 gods around him, and then he could not travel in air anymore. He was descended to the ground. Then after he was descended to the ground, then the Kora Kalamba said, don't trust him. He is a magician. Now, this Korakalamb and the king thought that only because of this ascetic, this king was descended to the ground. No, it's because of the bad karma. It's because by telling lies. It's not because of another person. But then what happened? The ascetic again said, "Dear king, listen to me. Again, if you can tell the truth, I'll make sure you'll get back all these things. If you can tell the truth, again you will get the 4 kings who were around you. The 4 devas around you, you will get them again. Your mouth will again produce a good smell, the smell of a lotus flower. Again from your body, the sandalwood smell will be produced. You will be able to travel in air. Tell the truth." But the king said, "No. You are the junior, Korakalamb is senior." What happened? Again, then he sank up to his ankles. The ankles sunk in the earth. Then he kept on telling lies. Then his body was sunk up to his knees. Like that, he was sunk up to the chest. Finally, he was dragged to the hell. So while he was sunk gradually, the ascetic advised him, "Don't tell lies deliberately." Why? Why we shouldn't tell lies? When you tell lies, it will not rain in time. It will not rain in time. It will rain in the wrong time. What happens when you tell lies? The tongue will split. Have you seen snakes? We will become a snake in next life and the tongue will split. We will lose the human life and will become a snake. So do you like to become snakes by telling lies? Then don't tell. And then if you keep on telling lies, what will happen? What will happen? See what happens next. The ascetic says, "Just as a fish does not have a tongue, they will not have a tongue." That means in this life they will live some or other, but in next life they will become a fish. No tongue, cannot taste anything. Do a research and see whether fish have tongues or not. Then he says, "Dear king, now he has already sunk up to the knees." Now the ascetic is still telling, "Dear king, don't worry. If you can tell the truth, I will get back everything that you had earlier. You will get the things that you had earlier." So see the value of, if you can tell the truth, you can even get these valuable things that you have lost. So even if you have told lies, don't worry, don't regret. The moment you start telling the truth, your life will start changing again. So what we should do is tell the truth. Then what happens if you tell lies? When you are reborn again, you will only have girls as babies, not boys. Like boys are more powerful, but then he will not have boys. He will only have girls. And no sons shall he see. And also, by telling lies, what happens? The ascetic says that person will not have children. Some parents, they don't have children. Why? They have told lies in past lives. And remember, when we tell lies, that habit will go to the future birth also. So don't tell lies, because that is not just, you can just cover your mistakes, but it will remain as a habit in samsara. And you will be all alone without children. You will become snakes. So don't tell lies. And finally, what happened? The ascetic said, "Dear king, don't tell lies. You will lose all these things and you will be born in hell." But he kept on telling lies. See how much a person can become arrogant. Even though he was a king, he could not. How much he had power over the kingdom. He had authority over the kingdom, but he did not have authority and power over his mind. He did not know what was good and bad. He could not listen to wise people. He did not pay attention to wise people. Remember, children, once when Venerable Rahula was in Ambalattika forest, the Buddha asked Venerable Rahula, "Dear Rahula, in that vessel, do you see the water?" There's very little water. Because when Buddha visited that forest, Venerable Rahula arranged a vessel of water to wash the sacred feet of the Supreme Buddha. So after washing the Buddha's sacred feet, there was some water remaining, some little water remaining on the vessel. There was some few drops remaining in the vessel. Then the Buddha asked Rahula, "Do you see that vessel with little bit of water?" "Yes, blessed one." "Dear Rahula, if someone tells lies, if someone deliberately tells lies, his life is like a vessel with little bit of water, less qualities." Then Buddha told Venerable Rahula to throw the balanced water away. Then the Buddha asked to show the vessel to the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha asked Venerable Rahula to show the vessel. Then there were no water. Buddha said, if someone is telling lies, his life is like an empty vessel. His life is an empty life. Why? He is not abstaining from telling lies. Then Buddha told to turn upside down that vessel. Buddha told Venerable Rahula to turn that vessel upside down. Then if someone is telling lies, his life is like upside down. No use of that vessel. Once a vessel is turned upside down, you can't collect water. In the same way, if you tell lies deliberately, even for a joke, there is no use of that life. That person will become a fish. That person will become a snake. That person's tongue will split into two. He will not have children. Even if he come to his human life again, he will not have children. People will not trust him, and he will get accused for things. He will get punished for things he has not done. So abstain from telling lies. Have a strong hope, children, now. Have a strong determination today. Write in a book. Have a strong hope. Think. Say after me. Say after me. From today onwards, I am abstaining from telling lies. Say after me. Close your eyes. From today onwards, I am abstaining from telling lies. From today onwards, I am abstaining from telling lies. By any chance, if you tell a lie, immediately go to the Supreme Buddha, to the Buddha statue, and correct yourself. Tell your mother and father. So may you have the opportunity not to have this misfortune that King Chaitya had, and may you not break any precept and live a happy life by respecting others, by telling the truth. And may you realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Children, now we have come to the most difficult session. Why it is difficult? Meditating. Children, when they close their eyes, some they fall asleep. Some they close their eyes and slowly they open one eye. Slowly they open one eye and see what's happening. Don't do that. So now you have to close your eyes and keep your mind in one place. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Stick to the present. Think according to what I say. Follow the Buddha's great qualities. Think of the Buddha's great qualities. When your mind goes out of track, when your mind goes away from the meditation object, get back to the meditation object. Don't dream. Now sit in a comfortable posture. Keep one palm on the other palm. Cross your legs. If you are sleepy, you can do walking meditation. But listen to me. Now listen to me and think according to what I say. My great teacher, Supreme Buddha, eradicated passion, hatred and delusion. Supreme Buddha, eradicated unwholesome deeds, cultivated wholesome deeds, guarded sense faculties, controlled sense faculties, even in secrecy, did not commit any misdeeds. Children of a Buddha, he guarded the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. He saw things from the eyes, but never got attached, did not get angry, or did not get deluded or deceived. That's why we say that Buddha controlled the sense faculties. The sense faculties are eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Other people can't guard them. Buddha was able to control the eye. Buddha did not have the desire to see everything in this world. But normal people, ordinary people, they want to see everything as they wish. And if they can't see what they want, they feel sad. Buddha never got sad because Buddha did not have such wishes to see whatever he wanted. Even if Buddha sees unpleasant things, Buddha did not get sad. But normal people, ordinary people, when they see unpleasant things, they get panic and sad. Buddha did not get sad because Buddha had a purified mind. Buddha did not have craving. Supreme Buddha eradicated the desire for seeing forms, for hearing sounds, eradicated the desire for smelling odors, eradicated the desire for tasting flavors, eradicated the desire for touching tangibles. Tangibles are the feelings that you experience through your body. Eradicated the desire for thinking thoughts. In this way, the great Buddha is an Arahant. Arahant. Supreme Buddha realized the Four Noble Truths without anyone's help. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Samma Sambuddho. Samma Sambuddho. Samma Sambuddho. Supreme Buddha was able to see the past lives so the passing away and rebirths of other beings. Supreme Buddha eradicated all taints, obtained psychic powers. Supreme Buddha developed great virtue, concentration and wisdom. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Vijacharana Sampanno. Vijacharana Sampanno. Supreme Buddha followed the path to Nibbana and achieved true happiness. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Sugato. Sugato. Supreme Buddha understood all worlds and escaped from all worlds, and the Buddha is known as Lokavidu. Therefore, the Buddha is known as Lokavidu. The Blessed One understood that there are many worlds, that human beings are born among animals too after they die. Human beings are not always born among human beings. So by understanding that nature, by understanding and realizing many worlds, the Blessed One escaped from all the worlds forever. That's why the Buddha is known as Lokavidu. Supreme Buddha became an incomparable teacher for taming others with great compassion. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarathi. Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarathi. Supreme Buddha became a great teacher for gods and humans. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Satta Deva Manussanam. Supreme Buddha taught the excellent Dhamma without holding anything. Without holding anything. In this way, the Supreme Buddha is Buddha. 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 Supreme Buddha developed all these great qualities and was unique to have all these qualities. And the Buddha is known as Bhagava. 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 The Blessed One is an Arahant. He is free from lust, anger, and delusion. The Buddha is a Samma Sambuddha. The Blessed One realized the Four Noble Truths without a guidance of a teacher. The Blessed One is Vijjacharana Sampanno. The Blessed One developed psychic powers, attained special knowledges to see past births, future births, and purified the mind. The Blessed One was unique in wisdom, was unique in virtue, concentration, and wisdom. That's why the Blessed One is known as Vijjacharana Sampanno. The Blessed One followed the Noble Eightfold Path, and that's why the Buddha is known as Sugata. The Blessed One escaped from all the worlds. That's why the Blessed One is known as Lokavidu. The Buddha helped many beings to become good, worse to good, and develop their good qualities to a great extent. Even the people who had good qualities, they were not able to attain Nibbana. They had some qualities. Even for such people, Buddha helped them to attain Nibbana. That's why the Buddha is known as Anuttara Purisa Dhammasarathi. Even thinking of Arahant Angulimala would help you to understand the Buddha's great quality of Anuttara Purisa Dhammasarathi. The Buddha became a teacher for gods and humans. That's why the Buddha is known as Sattadeva Manusana. Buddha taught this Dhamma out of compassion, without holding anything back. The Blessed One is known as Buddha. And the Blessed One was able to develop all these qualities. And that's why the Buddha is known as Bhagava. He had all these qualities and he was unique. The Blessed One was the one and only person to have all these qualities. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Slowly open your eyes. Namo Buddhaya. Now we are going to see some good deeds done by good children. So I'm going to hand over the program to Dinu Dahamputa and Devanga daughter. Namo Buddhaya. Teruvan Saranai.
Namo Buddhaya. You have now come to the Good Deeds session, where we read and watch good deeds done by children all around the world. My name is Devanga, and today I'm here with Dinu Daham.
Namo Buddhaya. I am Dinu Daham, and today we'll be watching the good deeds done by Sasanupasaka, Seha Upasika, and other Dhamma friends.
The first meritorious deed was done by Sasanupasaka. He has sent very valuable information about what he has learned about the Karnapali Sutta. Let us see what he has written to us.
Karnapali Sutta. On one occasion, the Lord Buddha was staying in the city called Vishala. Karnapali questioned Pingiyani about where she was coming from at this time of the day, and he said he was coming from staying with the Supreme Buddha. Karnapali questioned Pingiyani about the level of wisdom the Lord Buddha had. Pingiyani answered by teaching Karnapali about all the good qualities Lord Buddha had. He also said that no one can judge the Buddha beside other Buddhas. Our Supreme Buddha learned that it is not good living without a teacher, and therefore looked upon the world with his powers and scouted the world to see if there is anyone equal to him, but found out there is no one superior than him. He then preached that he keeps the Dhamma as his teacher. His realization can be only fully realized by another Buddha.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in the merits Sasan has accumulated by writing about what he has learned from the Karnapali Sutta.
The next meritorious deed is done by Seha Upasika. She has sent an email of what good deed she has done. Namo Buddhaya Swamin Vahansa. This week I cut my hair and donated it. I kept thinking on I can give anything to anyone. Also, this Tuesday I almost lied, but I remembered the simile I learnt in Dhamma class and didn't lie. Teruvan Saranai Namo Buddhaya. We rejoice in the good deeds you have collected by donating your hair.
The next meritorious act was done by a Dhamma friend. She has sent an email detailing her powerful story. She gave dana to the Mahasangha for 7 continuous days despite her difficult situation. To help you understand her story, we made a video. Let's watch it.
On August 9th, 3 families who volunteer at Colombo Dhamma Friends got together and completed their 7-day offering heel dana to the Mahasangha. Here is their story. It just feels like yesterday when one of the venerable monks at Colombo Dhamma Friends had a meeting online with 2 other volunteers and myself, discussing a rare opportunity to offer heel dana to the Mahasangha for 7 continuous days. But the opportunity came with a humble request. You need to prepare the food with your own hands, purchase new ingredients for all the dishes, and be at the temple at no later than 6 a.m. with your dishes ready in hand to be offered to the Mahasangha. I'm a 24-year-old girl who takes care of my grandmother and youngest brother while doing a full-time job and also cleaning and cooking for the household. I asked myself, can I bear to have another responsibility over my shoulders? Will I give up halfway if things get overwhelming for me? Would there be enough time for me to manage my full-time job and prepare a dana and take care of my household duties? As I was pondering these questions, the venerable monk, knowing my situation, asked me 3 times, "Daughter, will you be able to do the cooking for all 7 days?" And I replied with the same answer for all 3 times. Yes, I can do this. I will dedicate the whole of next week for the Supreme Buddha. At that particular point, I was afraid of what obstacles life would throw at me. I just got paid, and after paying all my bills, I was left with only 30,000 rupees, and I was wondering whether it all be enough to spend on transport, groceries, donation, and household expenses. I recall the first day when my grandmother and I went grocery shopping for the 7-day heel dana. I made sure she knew that I wanted to purchase the finest ingredients regardless the price. Upon purchasing the items, we headed to bed early and woke up the next morning to prepare the dishes for the dana. The first day of the dana was a bit rough since I don't have a car and had to rely on Uber. Time was not on my side. It was already 5:30 a.m. and I didn't have a ride, but then suddenly, out of the blue, a driver accepted my ride, but only to my surprise it was 15 minutes away. But 15 to 20 minutes is all it takes to reach the monastery. I had faith that we were going to make it on time. Once my ride arrived, I told him that I was in a hurry and had to step on it, and guess what? I was 1 minute early. 1 minute, my dear Dhamma friends, this is only the beginning. It was the first day and the first miracle. For the second day, I decided to ask the tuk driver, Anura, who I've known since I was little, to pick me up and drop me off at the temple every day at 5:40 a.m., while promising him that I'll pay him in full on the last day of the heel dana. My tuk driver may have just been a driver to everyone else, but to me, he was a blessing in disguise. Because of him, I was able to cook in peace of mind and not worry about reaching the monastery on time. His job may seem insignificant to others, but I share merits with him every day and tell him how I'm undoubtedly grateful for his service. A day before the last day of our heel dana, The venerable monks, out of compassion, arranged an Uttam Datun Vahanse Vandana. We were given the rare opportunity to decorate and worship the great relics of our true and fearless teacher of all three worlds, the Supreme Buddha. I spoke to the monks of Colombo Dhamma Friends in hopes of seeking permission to offer the 3 gemstones to the relics of the Supreme Buddha, which they wholeheartedly accepted. I immediately decided to head out and shop for the tray, but it was only then I realized that I only had 770 rupees in my account. It was barely enough for transport, the tray, and for me and my family to survive for the next 3 weeks. Nevertheless, this opportunity was 1 in a million. I thought, and just as I did, my grandma approached me with great news, saying that my uncle has decided to cover the whole payment I owed to the tuk driver, Anura. I was over the moon, and Achi handed me way more money than expected, but it was not enough for me to purchase the tray, so I borrowed money from Achi and purchased a beautiful gift bag to offer Pirikura for the Mahasangha for the next morning, jasmine flowers, and then went tray hunting. My eyes were filled with joy after seeing the beautiful gold tray, but upon discovering the price of the tray, my heart sank because it was more than I could afford. But I thought to myself that I'm going to buy it either way and pay Achi the money back when I get my next salary. My heart was throbbing as I couldn't wait to get to the temple and cover the tray with sweet scented jasmine flowers while having the gemstones placed in the center of the tray. I was only 10 minutes away from the temple, and on the way I kept thinking of what a great day it has been since I woke up early to offer dana to the Mahasangha. And here I am on the way to make yet another offering, but this time to the relics of the Supreme Buddha. I couldn't help but think how fortunate I was, yet on the other hand, I sacrificed all the money I had to take care of my family and dedicate it to the triple gem. To make matters worse, I just found out that my brother ran out of his medication, a medication needed for a condition he suffers from called epilepsy, which cost about 5,000 rupees a month. A medication he cannot afford to miss, as that's what helps him keep his seizures at bay. I have 3 more weeks to go till my payday, and at the same time I have ran out of groceries at home. I have no mode of transportation. I have debts to pay, and all I have is 770 rupees in my bank account. I heard my phone ring. It was a message from my dad. I opened the message and I cried silently. 23,000 rupees had been deposited into my account. My dad, my savior, and the man who I'm proud to call Tata, has deposited me money after 5 months without knowing the hardships I was facing. The amount may seem so little to some, but to me it felt as I won the lottery. I didn't know if I was supposed to feel happy or sad. Happy because of him, my family, and I could look forward to our next meal. Sad because I know he's going through way too many problems with his business because of the whole COVID situation, which was why he couldn't send me a penny for the past 5 months. Few minutes later, I arrived at the temple. I was so happy that I couldn't contain my excitement, but before I entered, I shared my merits with my ever so trustworthy and humble tuk driver, Chaminda. I placed the box of gems on the newly purchased tray and told him that I'm offering this to the relics of the Supreme Buddha. He rejoiced in my merits, and I made my way towards the Dharmashala to decorate the tray with sweet scented jasmine flowers, which is something I learned after my Kalyanamita Shanila took me on a trip to the Mahamelnava Udupila monastery. We make our own miracles. It was the thought that crossed my mind as I kneeled and worshipped the great teacher, the Supreme Buddha's relics. In the span of just a few hours before setting foot to the temple, I was trying to figure out a way to pay my debts, provide my family's next meal, and my brother's medication. But here I am, in front of the relics of the Supreme Buddha, with money to pay my achi back for the tray and the gift bags, money to feed and take care of my family, money to pay my tuk driver, Anura and Chaminda, and money to buy my brother's medication. I broke down into tears and realized that I was debt-free. The 7-day Heal Dana for me taught me more than just offering dana to the Mahasangha. It taught me to stay strong whenever my faith was being challenged, It taught me the gift of giving. It taught me to be humble, resilient, to have hope, and the list goes on. I remember during the last few days of the Hildana, I would bump into my Kalyanamita Shanila. She too was a miracle before my eyes, who would without second guessing offer me a ride home whenever she met me. She didn't know then, but I hope she does now, that both of the rides she offered me helped me to save up some money for the next ride whenever my tuk driver, Anura, was unable to drop me home. And of course, Mandivaya, who also voluntarily decided to drop my family and myself home last Saturday evening after an eventful day. Last but not least, Kavindumalli, for being such a kind soul. He'd always appear out of nowhere and help pick up all the leaves that I have set aside to throw out after sweeping the monastery. Some of you may be wondering as to why I decided to hide all my pain while participating in the 7-day Hildana. It's because it was never pain. To me, pain would be if I lost a limb tomorrow, become blind or deaf the next day, or fall extremely ill to the point where I'd have to stay back and not participate in doing meritorious deeds. How painful is that? So my dear Dhamma friends, before I wrap up my story, I would like to share merits with Pinvat Lokuswamin Vahansa and all the monks and nuns in the world. I'd also like to share merits with my parents for never giving up on me and always bringing out the best in me. And last but not least, the volunteers at Colombo Dhamma Friends for being great role models for me. May everyone rejoice in this merit, and may this merit help us all one day to realize the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. From this story, we learn a very important lesson: to never give up confidence in the face of a difficult situation, and that she had good Kalyanamitas.
The next meritorious deed was done by another Dhamma friend. They have sent an email of what good deeds they have done. Namo Buddhaya Swamin Vahansa. Here are the meritorious deeds I have done. I learned about a Swamin Vahansa in Sri Lanka in a town named Hiniduma, who did not have enough food for dana, and I gave $200 to my father to send to a person in Sri Lanka. I had saved that money by helping my father. Because of this, I remembered the simile about merit which the Supreme Buddha had taught and became joyous. Also, a mosquito bit me many times yesterday and I almost developed a bad intention, but I quickly stopped when I remembered the simile about bad karma. I share all these merits with you all. Teruvan Saranai Namo Buddhaya. We rejoice in the good deeds you have collected by sending $200 for dana in Sri Lanka.
The last meritorious deed was done by another Dhamma friend, and they have sent us what they have learned in one of our previous Mirror of Dhamma programs. Let's read what they have sent. Dhamma Sermon. The Buddha said there are 3 types of people in this world. Someone who has speech like dung, someone who has speech like flowers, and someone who has speech like honey. The Buddha also said that if we abstain from lying, we won't break the 5 precepts because we would like to be honest and not do bad things so we won't get punished. Speech like dung. When someone is asked something on what they don't know, they will reply, I don't know. But if they are asked on something which they know, they will reply, I don't know. If they are also asked what they have not seen, they would say, I have seen. If they are asked what they have seen, they would reply, I have not seen. Speech like flowers. When someone is asked something on what they don't know, they will reply, I don't know. But if they are asked on something which they know, they will reply, I do know. They also won't lie for the sake of themselves or another. Speech like honey. When someone is asked something on what they don't know, they will reply, I don't know. But if they're asked on something which they know, they will reply, I do know. They also don't speak harshly and talk with kind words only. Many merits for sharing the valuable Dhamma message with all of us. Today we watched many good deeds done by children all around the world. May you also have the opportunity to send your good deeds to our email address.
These meritorious deeds will help us to propagate the Dhamma and teach others to do meritorious deeds as well. We rejoice in your good deeds. The whole world is rejoicing in them too. May all of us have the opportunity to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Teruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. Now we have come to the session of showing gratefulness. Today, this program was sponsored by a family from Sweden, from Stockholm. And the parents are Suranju Jayawardena and Tanisha Jayawardena. So, daughters Senitma Jayawardena and Nilitma Jayawardena, birthday girl, then Vinitma Jayawardena. And for the 9th birthday, 20th September of Nilitma Jayawardena, and 70th birthday, that is 27th September of her grandmother Nandavati and grandmother Piyasili Jayakodi, that is falling on October 12th. So the names Suranji Jayawardena, so and Tanisha Jayawardena. So may they rejoice in this merit. May the parents of these 3 daughters rejoice in this merit. And may they be well and happy, have happiness. May all the gods rejoice in this merit of giving the Dhamma Dana, helping to propagate the Buddha's teachings. So may all the Devas protect this family living in Sweden, and may all the Devas realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may all the departed relatives of this family be well and happy and rejoice in this merit, and may they escape from suffering as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may Suranji Jayawardena and Tunisia Jayawardena and their daughters, and one of the daughters is the birthday girl, Nilitma Jayawardena, who is celebrating her 9th birthday on 28th September. So may she be well and happy, have long life, and may her siblings have long life, and may the whole family rejoice in this merit, and may they have long life, have good thoughts, and may all their good thoughts come true and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may our teacher Lokuswamin Wahanse and all the monks and nuns of Mahamuna Buddhist monasteries and all over the world rejoice in this merit, be well and happy, have happiness, and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may all the people who make, the dedicated devotees who make donations to Shraddha TV rejoice in this merit, be well and happy, have happiness, and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Hope to see you again on next program. Namo Buddhaya. Teruvan Saranai.